midlife crisis looks like. My midlife crisis, or yours, or anybody else's. What I wanted to cover today isn't necessarily what went on since yesterday or whatever, because really not much. But I wanted to talk about relationships and how those change when you hit a midlife crisis, because I know for myself, a lot of my relationships have changed. Maybe all of them. I don't know. And some might view it as good changes and some might view it as bad changes. If you've been watching my videos, then you know my daughter still isn't talking to me. My older daughter, she's still not talking to me. I don't know. I don't know why. My father, he decided once I left the state that he didn't want anything to do with me either. He told me on my Facebook that I was no longer welcome there. Don't come back. You're no longer welcome here. Why? Whatever. And I have no idea what that was about. Not that he told me. So, people have issues in not telling me why. That's your issue then. It's not mine. Because I can't even apologize for something if I don't know what it is that I did. But one thing I cannot apologize for is having a midlife crisis. It happens. Get over it. And no, it doesn't happen to everybody. Yeah, it happened to me. But the relationships have changed, and those aren't the only relationships that have changed. I've had a few other relationships of mine that kind of like went on the rocks as well, because they don't understand things that I'm doing, and what are you doing? That's not you. That's not even you. Why are you doing that? Well, you know what? That's what I said way back with the first video when this shit first happened to me. I'm not even the same person. Your relationships change because people don't understand the things that you're doing anymore, because you're doing things that are different. It's almost like they feel offended because you're upheaving their world. When yours has already come to a crash and like, I don't know, not an end, but like blown apart, right? And they're all concerned about how it's affecting them. Get over yourself, because it's not about them. The reason why it changes relationships is because when you hit that midlife crisis, your values change. And I'm not talking about just a few values that get shifted around. I'm talking about your core values change. They do. What was the most valuable thing to you? Say the top 3 most valuable things to you before you hit that midlife crisis. They're no longer the top 3 most valuable things to you anymore. And this disrupts other people around you, people that you have relationships with, parents, children, friends, sisters, brothers, whatever. It disrupts them that your core values changed. Their relationship with you was the way that it was going because of the core values that you each had. But then when your core values change, you begin functioning differently, because you have a new set of values, and things that you valued before you might not value anymore. And they just don't even know how to take it. Like, you're no longer on par with me. So I know for me, my family, and a few of my friends, they've actually come at me, almost like attack. They've come at me about things. You're not being you. Well, duh. That's what I've been telling you for months. I've changed. Everything changed. And it was so scary because it was all of a sudden I found myself in a mind that I didn't know. That's scary. Life wasn't the same anymore. Everything around me was still the same, but life wasn't the same. Because my values were different and they changed. I don't value stuff anymore. There's so many things that I gave away. I gave away everything, right, when I left New York. There's so many things that I gave away that for some reason or another in my previous life, I valued them. I had some sort of value on these items that I had. And I was sitting there that day and like, what is this stuff? Why do I have it? Well, it's taking up my space, sucking my energy. It was money that I had to work for to buy it in the first place. My time to have to maintain it. It was just sucking money and time. And why? For some reason, I had some sort of enjoyment from having stuff around me. So I no longer valued the stuff. And the way that I valued people, I still value people, and my family, my friends are still valuable to me, and they always will be. But I don't put them first before me anymore. There's where that core value shifted as far as people goes. I put me ahead of others. My needs come first before I step out of my way and use all my resources to meet the needs of other people. And my family thinks that makes me very selfish and a very bad person. I'm a rotten mother, I'm a rotten sister, I'm a rotten daughter, because I'm taking care of myself, because I'm meeting my needs, because I'm not expecting other people to meet my needs for me. And my needs changed. Of course they changed. My core values changed. Because that's what happens when you have a midlife crisis. If your core values didn't change when you hit a midlife crisis, you wouldn't throw away the career of 20 years. You wouldn't throw away the marriage of 20 plus years. You wouldn't throw away your credit. You wouldn't do these big major changes. Major cosmetic surgery. That's another thing people do when they hit a midlife crisis. You wouldn't do that if your core values didn't change, right? So it just is what it is. And, to my family, you cannot hammer me into what I used to be. It just doesn't work that way. You cannot hammer me into anything. So either you're going to get over your damn self and have a relationship with me of some sort. It can happen even though I'm in Florida. Or just completely and totally cut me out of your life. Delete me off Facebook and everything else. And I'm going to sound like a cold, heartless bitch, but if that's how you feel about it, I wish you luck in the rest of your life. But you're not going to hammer me into something that I'm not, into being somebody that I am no longer. Things change. That is what a midlife crisis is.